Hi, I'm Chris Roselli.
And I'm Rahwa Hailemariam. Welcome to Western Window, a show made for you by students at Western Washington University.
In today's Western Window, we chat with former athletic director Lynda Goodrich about her victorious time on campus. We'll find out more about Western's annual Energy Symposium.
And we'll learn about hip-hop theater here at Western Washington University. This is a very special episode today. We've planned a surprise for the end of the show, so be sure to stay with us as we explore our world through Western Window.
During her 4-decade career at Western, widely respected alum Lynda Goodrich has had 2 fabulous careers. She was the women's basketball coach for 19 seasons, racking up over 400 wins. In fact, they never had a losing season. Now, if that wasn't impressive enough, during her 26 years as athletic director, our Vikings won 9 team national titles. Lynda Goodrich is one amazing Viking, and we were lucky enough to interview her right here in the studio. Welcome back. Today, I am pleased to welcome Lynda Goodrich to the studio. She's a Western alumna, was the Western women's basketball coach for 19 seasons with a record of more than 400 wins, and was the director of athletics here at Western, a post that she held for 26 years. Lynda's leadership fostered a level of athletic and academic excellence among the very best in the nation, improving facilities, hiring outstanding coaches and staff, and graduating Western student athletes at rates well above the national average for NCAA Division II. Lynda, thank you so much for coming into the studio.
It's so great to be here.
It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you've been at Western for
45 years.
45 years. Mm-hmm. What made you choose Western 45 years ago?
Well, I went to PLU my first year and transferred here my second year because I realized I really wanted to be a teacher, and this was Western Washington College of Education at that time, and it was primarily a teacher's college, and that's what I wanted to do, so this is where I came. And I was from Lake Stevens, so it's natural that I stayed on this side of the mountains, I guess. You
played basketball for AAU, you coached at West Seattle High School. When did you come back to Western?
In 1971, the women's basketball coach was leaving. Margaret Aiken asked me if I wanted to be a graduate assistant, and I said, yes, if I can coach, I'll come. And so she said, yeah. So, I mean, they were probably begging for a coach. So I came back as a graduate assistant, started coaching right away, and stayed here for the rest of my career.
You were a women's coach, a very successful women's coach at Western, and then you became an athletic director. My understanding is that you were one of only a handful of women's athletic directors at any level in Division NCAA period.
Or NAI, yes.
Or NAI at all. What was that like?
Well, honestly, I really didn't want to do it. When President Ross asked me to take the job, and I go, why would I want to put myself in that position? But he had a lot of faith in me, and so I thought, okay, because I had ideas of what should happen with athletics. I really wanted to see athletics get better at both the men and women and do things better than what we had in the past. And I think even within our conference, you know, a lot of the men ADs, I was the only woman AD, and so I kind of had to prove myself, I think. And but you know, it all worked out. But at the time, it felt like I was putting myself out there a little bit.
Sure. And I hear one of your mantras is to never look back, only ahead.
I don't see the point of looking back unless it's to learn something from it, but you probably learned something from whatever happened at that time, and so then you go forward and you try not to make the same mistake again. But to look back and have regrets, what good does that do? You know, it just makes you feel bad and doesn't change anything. So look ahead and try to make the best of what's coming.
That's right. That's right. What was your leadership philosophy? I know you had mentioned that Chuck Randall was an advocate for you and was somebody that you could turn to. What did you learn? I mean, you were so successful.
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I think it's important as a coach or as a teacher or whatever you profess to be that you be yourself, and that you can't try and be someone other than who you are. And I thought it was important that players work really hard, physically work hard, and support each other, and you try to be the best you can be. And if you don't succeed, well, okay, there's another day, another game, and but you give it your all.
Sure. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment?
I think, honestly, Chris, I think I was really fortunate to be at Western and to have the coaches that we had. I don't really see it as my accomplishments because like Hillary Clinton says, it takes a village, and it took all of us to make it happen.
Sure. Would you call yourself a trailblazer?
I think I would, because it was such a difficult time for women, particularly in athletics. And so, I mean, I think I'm one of some. I mean, there's more than me, women that really went and, fought the good fight to make it happen. So, yeah, I would guess I would. I didn't ever think that that would be my goal in life, but it just happened.
I've heard many people say that you are, in that 125-year history, one of Western's most impactful people. What would you say about that?
Well, that's nice, and I'm honored for that. But like I said, I think I was lucky to be at the right place at the right time and got surrounded by some great people. You're only as good as the people around you.
That's a good point. What would you say to our future students, any future coaches, people who are carrying on your legacy in the years in the future?
I think it's really important to keep the student in mind, that you got to always try and do what you think is the right thing, and make sure that those students have the best opportunity to be successful. And not everybody can be an athlete or be successful, but just relish in what they can do and what they can accomplish, and enjoy it.
Okay. Well, it's an honor to have you here. It's been a real pleasure to talk with you. Really is.
Yeah, it's been great.
From a friend standpoint, a peer standpoint, and a colleague standpoint, it's just an honor to be able to chat with you about
Chris.
this.
Well,
Yeah.
you and I go way back, so thank you.
It's fun. Western alumna, coach of Western for 19 years, athletic director at Western for 26 years, and now happily retired.
That's right.
Lynda Goodrich. The Western cycling team is student-led and organized. Their mission statement is to stay dedicated to racing bikes, bettering the community, and ignoring the Northwest weather. This next segment was created by the team for you to enjoy.
This team is full of a bunch of energetic individuals that are really, really excited and passionate about not just the sport, but the community as well.
Everyone on the team is there to encourage you, and for me that often means that people make me laugh. They bring up good jokes whenever I'm riding that keep me upbeat. When I'm struggling on a hill, there's always somebody who's like, "Come on, Corey, spin a little faster, you got it."
On the bike team, I've found some of the best friends that I currently have, and they are the main reason I keep coming back. That, and also the fact that I just love to be on two wheels.
Let's go, team. We got this. Sprint, 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 sprint.
Camaraderie is a huge aspect of this team. When we're out on team rides, when we're out racing during the springtime, on weekend-long trips, we are out there, we are all supporting each other.
Keep going, go, go, go.
A lot of us say we are a lot like a family, and so it's just a great place to be and a great group of people to be with.
The recent 2017 Energy Symposium was a series of panel discussions focused on energy transformation in the transportation sector. Over the course of this day-long event, many issues related to energy were discussed and explored, including transportation as a critical issue for climate. An overview of potential solutions from the technology, policy, and business perspectives, and a discussion on energy transition were also important aspects of the conversation. The Energy Symposium included top thought leaders from companies and organizations such as Boeing, PACCAR, Alaska Airlines, Saltchuk, City of Seattle, Promise Energy, Proterra, the Washington State Department of Commerce, Climate Solutions, and Clean Energy Transition, and featured David Roberts of Vox Media as the lunch keynote. Throughout the event, faculty, students, community members, and experts in the field were invited to be a part of the discussion, and we invite you now to watch one part of that important day-long event.
We've always thought of geology as moving at a glacial pace. Geology doesn't move at a glacial pace anymore. It moves at lightning speed because we're changing climate systems so rapidly that we are actually changing geological systems because of the rapidity of climate change. Think about that for a second.
I'm really pleased that the Institute for Energy Studies is leading the way for education and public discourse with this symposium. You know, that really is a great reflection of the interest in education and conversation that bridges the interrelated areas of energy science and technology, business and economics, public policy, and environmental sustainability.
Well, I think this is the most exciting place in the state at Western with the Energy Conference because there's really no greater technological horizon for us, and there's no greater need than to defeat climate change. And Western has just been on the cutting edge in so many ways for decades. It's just a really exciting place to be, and I'm very inspired when I get to come meet students who are electrical engineers or chemistry or public policy, and they're jazzed about this. I get inspired listening to their stories.
I believe that working on these intersections is really critical for us to develop sustainable solutions to complex societal problems, including clean energy and environmental sustainability. And it's really encouraging to see so many people interested in becoming engaged.
And by the way, the people who think of clean energy as only an environmental benefit, take a look at the job creation benefits of energy and clean energy in our state. We're banding together where we can move together in concert, share ideas and actually policies over time to drive down carbon pollution. This is important to our own states, it's important to clean up our own clean air, it's important to our own families, but it's also important to give a message to the world that we're going to keep moving forward. So the world doesn't give up hope. The world's moving. We want to move with the world, and that's the right direction. You know, you get to see your grandkids and you realize how bright their future can be, but there's a cloud on the horizon of this climate change, and the thought that they would not live in a Washington with healthy forests that haven't burned down, that you wouldn't be able to grow, oysters here because of ocean acidification, that your skiing would be degraded because it's rain for the bottom 500 feet of our ski areas. I want better for them. So that keeps me going, number one. And number two, Western students, because I see them creating the new technologies, the new photovoltaic systems, the new electric drivetrains, the new energy efficiency, the new policies. Western students are right on the cutting edge of that. And for decades now, Western students have been perfecting and creating new vision statements. I'm going to tell the story of Western when I go back to Olympia, because we need legislators to be half as creative and half as innovative and half as optimistic as the students right here. Because I'll tell you, there's nothing more effective than a young person with a fire in their eyes about, I want to go invent a new way to make a window into a photoelectric cell. I can tell you when old legislators hear an inspiring the story like that, even they can get excited. They're my heroes. And I want to tell you that. I want you to feel like heroes. I want you to be empowered like heroes. Because if you are, you're going to save my grandkids.
Sasha Gunter, and today we're visiting Locust Beach for a local cleanup in celebration of Earth Day. About 50 people came out to clean up the beach, and the event is sponsored by Friends of the Salish Sea.
We decided to do this event today for Earth Day because plastic pollution is one of the biggest problems that our generation is currently facing and creating. And we can make a difference by doing simple things like cleaning up the beach. And we thought that Earth Day would be a good day for that because it's a great day for activism. More people are looking to get involved.
Pretty much every day should be Earth Day, but to have a recognized day kind of brings it up for people who might not think about it every day. Somebody who might not ever have cleaned up a beach might come to this because it's Earth Day.
And Locust Beach particularly has a lot of trash. There's a lot of public traffic from downtown. People come, people spend the night, and they leave their trash behind. So as you can see, it's a great place to pick up a lot of trash.
Well, I'm a marine biology major at Western, so I mean, the ocean is my life at this point, and so I love to come out and help clean up the beach, and it's just a great thing to do.
It all starts here. Any little bit of plastic garbage eventually makes its way out to sea, and it's harming our marine life. So I'm here to do what I can to try to make it a little better.
A lot of trash can look like food and end up decimating an entire population. A lot of birds will come down and try to pick up scraps that look like fish guts or something, but it's really plastic. You could have a local extinction of a certain animal that might have been trapped in a net or been eating all this plastic, and that would disrupt the entire ecosystem.
People don't even realize that there's just ever-present pollution in the ocean because they just see the big pieces of trash and they pick those up or something and they think, oh, it's gonna get wrapped around a turtle's neck or something obvious like that. But there's also the microplastics that get taken in by the smaller organisms, and then it just builds in the food chain. And so it's super important to watch what you're using and make sure that you don't use things that are minuscule but actually build up over time.
This is the only planet we have, and humans are taking advantage of it, and we're using our resources like they're infinite, but really they're finite, and that's a problem, and we're not going to sustain ourselves as a human race or other creatures if we keep doing this. So anything that we can do, just like as individuals and as small groups, I think is a good thing.
Bellingham is a really easy place for that to happen. There's so much going on with environmental activism in this town. It's awesome.
There's just so many ways to get involved with just like helping out your community and like cleaning up the beach, for example.
There are so many humans on this planet, and I feel like if we all did a little bit, the problems could be solved. And so I think that's why it's important for everybody to get off the couch and do what you can, no matter how small.
Have you heard of hip-hop theater? This new art form combines the rhythmic feeling of hip-hop and the story of theater into an iconic new experience for a wide variety of audiences. For the past 2 years, Western hosted guest artists to lead workshops with our students in the community and perform their unique pieces for us. We were able to find out more from artists Idris Goodwin and Brian Quijada.
So yeah, I'm gonna start with this piece called Breaking Sweat. It's a two-parter. Part one, cardio. For the 50th time in my life, I have joined a gym. Exercise has been an occasional fling, a once in a while, oh, you again. But I'm a father now, and I gotta last as long as he needs to see me. The life expectancy of a black man is 67. I am 38. The math is clear.
We invited Idris Goodwin, who is a professor at University of Colorado Boulder, and he teaches actually hip-hop theater and poetry and spoken word there. And then we also had Brian Quijada, who is an amazing performer and writer, come and perform excerpts from his one-man show, Where Do We Sit on the Bus? Hip-hop theater is emerging and new and inspired by the tenets of hip-hop, which are emceeing, DJing, knowledge, graffiti, and dance. And so it's all inspired from those 5 tenets of hip-hop, which actually exist. Then we create this form of theater, which kind of takes on those structures, those inspirations to create theater. And hip-hop itself comes from a movement of creating art and community out of desperation. Right? Like it comes from the projects in New York in the 1970s when Africa Bambaataa one day said, this is it. We actually need to stop killing each other. Like this isn't doing anything. And so they started house parties and show parties and block parties and dancing and b-boys and DJing. And Idris Goodwin talks a lot about being Black in America. He talks about Black culture in America, his experience specifically in the Midwest, which is where he is from, and growing up in a certain time frame. But even now, in today's world, being Black in America.
The word for work is service. The word for play is holiness. We do not know the word supremacy unless speaking of Coltrane.
Brian Quijada talks about a lot of things. He's an incredibly talented actor who has played many different roles of many different cultures of people. And I think his writing, though, is very specifically about the Latino experience.
Some teachers in school would try to pronounce my name, try to astound our class with their profound multicultural knowledge, only to show our class that they probably didn't take Spanish in college. Well, let's try and give this a shot. Is it Quijada? Quijada? Al-Qaeda? No, it's not. But the attempt is much appreciated, and I'm a little less than aggravated when some people it up, because when they fall on the face, it's up to me to pick them up. Now rest assured, you've endured a life of Latinless names, but now you've matured.
In the theater department, we obviously talk about hip-hop theater. It's one of our focuses in our 200 level classes. It becomes a focus again later on in the playwriting series, but it really is about, it has to stem from where the playwrights come from and being exposed to those new plays. And I teach them, and it's really about teaching it as an experience and teaching about the writings. When you're telling a story, especially in a theatrical context, you're telling it as a cultural document that exists from your culture, your perspective. And there is no rules. The only rule is you have to be true to yourself and be true to your own culture.
Coast to coast, the ghosts they follow, and they remind us to stand up to sorrow, protect one another, every hair, every bone to the marrow, uncover the fallacies of the pharaohs, tribe of tomorrow. Futuristic we seem, but our word for tomorrow is dream. Our word for tomorrow is dream.
Theater, or plays, or storytelling, whatever you want to call it, has been the voice of the people. And so I think that it's really important to have underrepresented voices because they are part of the population, because they are part of the people that exist, and they have stories to tell.
We stop the spelling walks, and he doesn't know why. This boy of mine, whose DNA carries two cultures paved with deep cracks. This hungry boy is thirsty for definitions. I am fearful to dole out portions too big. His throat can't break down words this heavy. Or maybe he can. Perhaps it's me who lacks the stomach.
Before we say goodbye to this episode, we want to thank you, our audience, for encouraging and motivating us here at Western Window.
You see, today, Western Window is celebrating our 50th episode, and it wouldn't be possible without viewers like you. And here's to 50 more. Perfect. This is good. Where's the other one? It's amazing, isn't it? It's a torque. What do you want? Yeah. You want bigger or just like Suzanne's? Or just like Suzanne's. All right. Well, you get.
Western Window is proud to partner with the following student publications. Clipson magazine is published twice each quarter and includes features, multimedia, and issues that affect lives across the greater Bellingham area. You can find it online at clipsonmagazine.com. The Western Front is the official newspaper of Western Washington University, published by the Student Publications Council and funded by your advertising dollars. The Western Front. Get it first, get it right at westernfrontonline.net. The Planet is Western Washington University's award-winning quarterly environmental publication and the only undergraduate environmental magazine in the United States. Explore The Planet online at planet.wwu.edu.